Quota policy. Using quota policy, we can restrict the request to API proxy. When API proxy reached quota limit, it rejects subsequent requests. It should not be used for traffic spikes. For this reason, we can use spike arrest policy. Let's implement quota policy in APIG now. Let's create an API proxy now. Create new reverse proxy. Here quota example 1. Here target endpoint, I'll give this target endpoint. It will get the customer details when you pass the ID, this ID here. Now I'll add it here. Next, here you can see there is a quota option here. I'll click here, quota option. It's not allowing me to add the quota option now. Here you can see the message available only for proxies with authorization. Quota details configured in API products. So let's select the authorization here. API key I'm selecting. See, now it's enabled. Now click here, impose quotas per app. This whatever the details, quota details, you have to configure in the API products. Let's see this once we create this API proxy. Next, create edit proxy, develop tab, go to visual editor. Here you can see 3 policies got added: verify API key, remove query param API key, and impose quota. If you go to text editor, see here 3 policies added now. What does this policy do here? See, verify API key, it verifies the API key. API key we are passing in the query parameter, API key. Then once it's done, a query parameter we are removing here using assign message policy. Then impose quota. The quota we are imposing. This is the configuration for quota. Now let's create an API product and add this proxy there. Go back to API proxies and here go to API products, create new quota product. Then here environment you choose, that is eval. Access, I'll give it public here. Automatically approve access requests. So here you can see the quota here. I'll give 4 requests every 1. Here unit is minute. 4 requests every 1 minute. This quota added now. See, let's add the operations now. So we have created one proxy now that will add quota ex1 and path / here method use get for this, get the customer details we are using. Here also we can see quota details here. If you add the quota details here, it is specific to this API proxy. Here it will override whatever value in the product. Let's keep it now. Later we'll update this API proxy details. I'll save this. Now save. Now associate this product with the app now. Let's create a app now. Here there is, so developer apps is not there here. Let's create an app now. So go to apps. Here create an app now. Here app is, I'll name it as Quota app. Here add the product. For that we have to associate that product. Here you have to choose a developer. So it's the developer here. Only one developer registered, so it's showing only one name here. Now add product. I'll use Quota product here, adding that. Create. Now you can see key and secret got created here. Save this details. This is key and the second one is secret. Now let's test the API proxy. We'll go to API proxies. This is the one. We'll create a request URL to test this. So this is the base path. Go to Postman and I'll use this to create a request here and take the base URL. Now this request is ready. Now in the header I'll pass ID here and any ID, it will give the response back, and add the, now if I hit this it will not allow because API key we have to provide. It is showing for not found. Actually this API proxy we haven't deployed. Let's deploy this one now. API proxy deploy, revision 1, eval, deploy. It is deployed now. Let's test this. Now I'll hit this service. Now here you can see failed to resolve API key variable. Okay, we haven't passed API key here. Now copy this and pass it in the query param and equals the API key we copied for that app. Now save it. Now send it. Now you can see the result here. The response it's giving in XML format. This is because in the flow hooks we added the shared flow. Let's remove those shared flows in the flow hooks now. Go to shared flows. Because it's applying to all the API proxies in the organization, in eval organization. So these two are there now. In develop organization it's not there. It's applying for this eval. Now I'll remove these two. Remove, select this, okay. And here also I'll remove this, okay. Now the flow hooks are removed. Now it should give me the JSON output here, because by default it gives the JSON output. This whatever the backend here, this gives the JSON. Now I'll hit the service again. Now it is giving me a JSON response because we removed those shared flows which are configured in the flow hooks. Now let's test the quota policy now. Product API product, we have configured 4 requests per minute. Now let's check that. I'll open the timer here and start this timer for 1 minute. Now I'll hit this service. First request, second request, third request, fourth request. Now it allow 4 requests in 1 minute. Now 1 minute is not yet over. Now I'll hit the 5th request. It should not allow me now. Now I'll hit this again. Now it is showing quota limit exceeded. It allowed only 4 transactions in 1 minute, quota violation. Now let's add the quota limit to particular API proxy. I'm opening the API product, quota product, edit. Here this is the proxy. It is taken now 4 transactions per minute. Now I'll open this one, edit API proxy. Here also it's defined quota. Now I'll make here 2 requests every 1 minute. Now we should override whatever in the product now for this particular API proxy. I'll save this. Save this. Now we will hit the service again. We'll go back to Postman. Let's test the service again. It should take only 2 requests per minute. Third request it should throw error. Earlier it's thrown for the 5th request. Now we have changed APIC proxy settings. Now I'll set the timer and I'll hit the request now. For the first request, second request, and still it is within 1 minute. Now I'll hit the third request. It is failing now. Rate limit quota violation. So it has taken the value from the API proxy configuration. It's overridden whatever in the product configuration. This completes the overview of quota policy implementation.